because the whole feature was this shadowy black form. And he was in the middle of the road for half a second. I saw him like appear and then gone.
That's like going in for like a physical and then finding out you have stage 4 testicular cancer.
I think like it's, for all the cancer people out there,
maybe
let's not completely compare.
Maybe not as bad.
Because mine's healing.
But like,
I don't want to know. I have to go to work on Monday.
I'm such a loser, sweating God, I'm the worst.
Welcome back to the Woodsmen podcast. We're your hosts, Joey Rucker
and Brent Murphy.
And let's be honest, a lot of us have thought about the end of the world, and it makes a lot of sense these days. People are drawn to disaster. I don't exactly know why, but it's just a thing. It really is. And so it's fun to always kind of sit back with your buddies, crack open a cold one, and figure out, could I survive the apocalypse? Would you? You don't think so? You don't think you could do it?
Nah.
I think we could totally do it. I think we'd have a fair chance. So do you have what it takes? Do we have what it takes? Let's find out together on another episode of the Woodsman podcast.
Well, all right, man. How's it been?
It's been okay. It's been a pretty busy week, but overall,
just a little.
I'm still kicking.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, you had quite a bit busy. Well, you had quite a bit of weeks where you just work was just wild.
Yeah,
you just
this is
pulling
12-hour
days
where every day is like 12 hours, and technically it's not even over. Technically we have next week too, but next week is not the 12-hour shifts. Next week is just like the same event but for like only 1 hour a day.
Yeah,
so
that's
thank
good
God.
at least.
Yeah.
That's good at least. Yeah. Well, I mean, we got some housekeeping. We got some stuff to talk about.
Today.
We well, as you guys know, season 2 been going great.
Yeah.
We're 2 episodes in.
2 episodes strong.
2 episodes strong. We are,
and we're gonna talk about it, but we're at least posting weekly still.
We have come to the conclusion that we should stop promising a day. We should stop promising a day, and we should stop promising a time. So, for our first order of housekeeping, every episode will be posted every weekend. Weekend. So Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, hopefully episodes will be out. If not, well,
then
that's on
make
us.
some other excuse for as to why it couldn't.
I mean, we make an excuse almost every week as to why it's not out on time.
To be fair,
so
most of the time it's a legitimate reason. It's just that it happens a lot. It's really, the truth of the matter is that it's really hard to like maintain your own podcast when it's just 2 guys with all of this equipment having their own lives.
And has no place to record, where we could just leave things in one place.
It's really hard. So like, you guys got to understand, if you're getting tired of us making excuses, like we are too, it's just really hard.
We are very tired of these excuses. But I mean, we got quite a bit of cool stuff coming up. We should hopefully be having our own studio space again.
Yep.
So hopefully we're not going to have to.
We'll stay in for a little while longer.
Yes. So I mean, it should be really good, and we should be getting help soon too, which would be awesome. So just stay tuned, guys. It's just ride it out with us. We're like, what, 22, 23 episodes in?
Well, are we counting by those numbers again? Because I don't know where we're at now. Now I've been counting by season 1 episode. Season 2 episode 1.
We're over 20 episodes in. And, maybe by 50 we'll have it completely settled. We maybe won't have any more excuses and we'll just start posting.
Yeah. I got to figure that out. I got to figure out how we're going to keep track of numbers because... Yeah, right now it's just season 2 episode.
It's because 2. We have the chill cast as well, and I think that throws me off a lot. So we're almost there. But, second order of business. Joey, how's your ear?
Well, I'll say this, it's healing, but it went through. So I mentioned on the last episode, I don't know if you remember this, I said,
I remember.
Do you ever have a sickness where the night before it's going to be bad in the morning? I was not kidding. And I was right.
It was
Because
worse.
I woke up the next day and I had to call off work because I was in so much pain. Was it that next day?
Yeah.
What day did we record?
I think, yeah.
Did we
yeah, I
record
think so.
Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Friday, the last day of work that week, I couldn't go in because I had woken up feeling like someone was stabbing me in the brain, like constantly, just a constant, like bee sting almost kind of pain, you know? Like it was so bad
Ooh.
and I hated it and it wouldn't go away.
And in the ear, like, I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know if anyone gets ear infections. I get a lot of ear infections, and my God, that sounds
Dude, it's so
terrible.
bad.
Like-
I can handle the like sort of torture that it is to just have it clogged all the time and have muffled hearing, but pain, I would. Oh my God, I hate it so much. I hate being in pain. I mean, obviously, but
I think most people
most
don't enjoy
most
being
people
in
don't
pain.
enjoy that sensation. But yeah, no, we went to two. No, we went to the urgent care because eventually the pain just became too bad after a couple days, and I was literally like crying to myself all the time, dude. It
no,
was so
bro.
bad. And they prescribed me these like acetic acid eardrops, which was basically to fight the ear infection itself, which worked. It actually got rid of the pain within a matter of like 24 hours, which I was like so thankful for.
Yeah.
But then, like, the pain kind of started to come back, and eventually we got in touch with my ENT, who said he could meet us sooner than December. I think I mentioned in the last episode I would have had to wait till December. Long story short, after meeting with him, he told me that not only did I have the ear infection, but I have a hole in my eardrum.
Nah.
So,
First of all, like, imagine that's like going in for like a physical and then finding out you have stage 4 testicular cancer.
I think
Like-
it's, for all the cancer people out there,
Maybe,
let's not completely compare it.
maybe not as bad,
Because mine's healing.
but like,
I don't.
I mean,
I'm.
it's not
I'm
as bad.
supposedly gonna get better.
So like stage 2 then, or
Oh my God! I can't.
so no.
Sure, yeah. My ear is like stage 2 cancer. The sentence I never
I
thought
mean,
I'd say
it's
out.
like stage 2, like The Last of Us in
Yeah,
your head, dude.
I guess. I guess so. But all that to be said, yeah, my ear seems to be getting better. I mean, I think the hole is starting to heal. I don't know for sure, but I can't see my doctor until the 11th of next month. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see if I can continue doing this podcast. I've literally been told to not have my headphones on completely for this. So.
Dude, that's terrible. Well, I mean, speaking of like The Last of Us, we got some zombie apocalypse stuff that we that we want to talk about
You
too.
missed something. I have a story for you.
I did. Ah, dang, dude! I literally, chat. I was literally looking at the notes, and I was like, "Dang, we really went through this pretty fast." And I really skipped over the most important thing, at least to me. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys probably won't care, but like, I am so interested.
The reason I didn't tell you about this like I did with the whole ear thing last time, because last time I told Brent, hey, I have this thing. I'm not going to tell you till I'm on the air. And then he got all mad because he wanted to know. And then he
Okay,
found out.
well, the way he presented it made me think like, oh, my man got fired. Like I didn't.
Yeah,
Like
that's
you
fair,
said,
that's
like I
fair.
asked you, is it good or bad? And you went, well, bad for me.
Yeah,
like, bro,
but-
what?
No, I said bad, but you were like bad for like someone else, bad for you. I was like technically bad for me, but like I kept saying it's not that bad. It's not, but it's bad.
I guess, yeah.
But, okay.
So,
all that to be
anyways,
said, again, I have not told Brent about this, except he noticed in the notes today that I put Joey's scary experience, and
yeah, and I really was the one that slid past it. Like
Yeah,
you didn't have it
yeah.
in there.
we have quite a few moments on this show where we have talked about the supernatural, we've talked about aliens, we've talked about Krampus. But
Don't let Krampus steal your kids, guys. Don't let Krampus steal your
Doesn't
kids.
he beat kids with sticks or something?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah, don't forget Krampus will beat you with sticks, bro.
So, to preface, and I'm not going to go into a full story about this first part because I don't really want to, but to preface for this story, yesterday I got off work and I was asked to help my cousin with a proposal to his girlfriend. If you remember on, I think, episode 5 of season 1, we mentioned that Isaac got a girlfriend. Isaac, my cousin, recently met a girl. I think we may have talked about this on the podcast at some point, that he met a girl.
Yeah.
And they've been talking, and as they put it,
Isn't her name Alana or something?
Alana, yes,
Yeah.
Alana. And they've been courting.
Yeah.
As
Dating.
yeah. Well,
but
no, courting. But
so going on dates.
yeah, but
So they're dating.
but they're not. And long story short, I guess they're engaged now. So that's kind of there's that. But that being said, I had to drive up to the mountains to help them with this proposal. It's about 9:30, 10 o'clock by the time we finish. And I drive home. Now, as one little preface before I get to what actually occurred that scared me, I want you to know, because this is what I've been struggling with mentally. Throughout the whole day that day, I kid you not, a lot of bad things were happening to me. Not like scary bad things, but enough for like all me and my coworkers to joke that I've been cursed. At 4 a.m, I woke up with an extreme cramp in my leg to the point where I started screaming, awake in pain.
Oh no!
I got hit in the shin with a ladder by my coworker. I slammed my hand on the guardrails of a staircase. And then it started to feel like people were getting hurt around me. Like we had to set up a projector in an amphitheater on this real sketchy scaffolding, and someone almost dropped an Allen wrench on my boss, who was standing right next to me. So all this being said, right, and I can't hear. So all that being said, now all day we have been joking that I've been cursed and that something is wrong and that like we don't know what's going on with me, but something's changed. Here's what happened. On my way back down from the mountain,
You said what time was this?
Around 10:15.
Okay.
There's a distinct road. I can take it to you later if you ever want to go back there. I know where it is. I don't know the name of it. There's a distinct part where you kind of go over these sort of long up and down bits, but it's a straight road.
Yeah.
One of the moments where I went up and started to go down, I have a podcast playing on my phone. I'm just driving like normal. I'm not scared. I haven't drinking or smoked anything, nothing. I'm completely coherent. And there is a moment where, as I'm going down on the dip, for the briefest moment, and I swear to God, there was a shadow figure that was a complete humanoid form that appeared in the middle of the road for like about a second and a half, enough for me to see it and in fear swerve a bit, and then in my eyesight I saw him evaporate into nothing. Enough.
Wait, what?
Welcome back to this week's news segment. First order of business, we have an official name for my, whatever you want to call this bit. Last week we called it Joey's News Corner, and that was not going to stick. And I'm happy it didn't, because, drum roll please, this segment is officially called The Bear Facts with Joey Rucker. So, thank you for joining me on The Bear Facts, and let's get into the facts this week. Juneteenth was this week, and this is special because this was the celebration that marks the official ending of slavery in America. On June 19th in 1865, the last group of slaves in America were informed of their freedom. And Brent and I really wanted to point this out because we find it very important, and we wanted to make sure that it got the light of day, because we're very passionate about it, and we think that it marks the end of a very sad part of our country's history and a beginning of a new start for America. The next big thing, sadly, the world cannot just keep on running like normal, because Stonehenge was actually defiled this week. 2 climate activists sprayed orange paint on Stonehenge. They were part of a group called Just Stop Oil, and I guess these activists were trying to basically call out the UK and make them stop using fossil fuels. And overall, Brent and I could not be more angry about this. This is so ridiculous. There is no reason to defile such history in our world, and it's honestly just, it's sad. It's really sad. There's no point to this. There's no reason that people need to do these kind of things, and I don't know. It's just, we're not mad. We're just disappointed. Brent might be mad. I won't speak for my co-host. But moving on from that, NVIDIA just became the most valuable company in the world, passing networks like Apple and Microsoft. Their marketing capitalization actually just grew to $3.34 trillion, which previously Microsoft, I believe, held the title for number one at just $3.32 trillion. I say just like that's not a lot. But yeah, NVIDIA just passed them up, and so that's kind of a crazy thing. And I guess we'll see if that means anything in today's world. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's a crazy thing that happened this week. Lastly, I wanted to bring up a couple game updates. This week, we got announced that Red Dead Redemption 3, the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, just confirmed that they are beginning production on the 3rd installment of the Red Dead Redemption series. And me and Brent are super excited. We've mentioned a bunch of times on this podcast that we think that Red Dead Redemption 2 has the best story element of video games ever in the history of game making. So we're very excited to see where they could take the franchise for the 3rd installment of the franchise. And finally, Life is Strange is also getting a new game in development. It's called Life is Strange Double Exposure. I'm personally excited about this one because I played I played all of the games. I played most of them relatively late, but by the time True Colors and Wavelengths came out, I was playing them like right when they came out, and I love every installment of it. They've made 3 games so far, I believe, and each game, I believe, also came out with its own prequel game that you could also buy as DLC. So I'm sure that they're going to do something similar for this, but this one's very special because this is the first game since the first one to bring back the original main character, Max. And I'm very excited to see how it goes. I hope it's not just a bunch of fan service, but I guess we'll have to just wait and see until it comes out. I hear it's coming out this year, actually. It's coming out, I believe, October 29th, so day after my birthday. So I guess I'll be, you know what I'll be doing this year for my birthday. But thank you again for joining this new segment called Bear Facts with Joey Rucker, and I hope to see you next week. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. And I'm not joking you. We've mentioned before on this podcast, I'm more skeptical about this stuff than you. And I almost pulled over. I was so afraid that I almost started crying. I literally had my jaw drop. I was in, I'm in this middle open road with a bunch of hills that I'm going up and over, and this figure, I couldn't give you any details other than the fact that I could tell there was a head, a body, arms, and legs. I couldn't tell any other distinct feature because the whole feature was this shadowy black form. And he was in the middle of the road for half a second. I saw him appear and then gone. Take it away, Mr. Supernatural Man. What do you have to say about this? Because yeah, I let me be clear, chat. I was bricks.
Oh man, I don't even How you gonna? First of all, chat. How is bro gonna just drop this information on me, and then expect us to move on to an apocalypse episode right now? Like, bro, what?
Does this podcast get taken over by the Shadow Man debate? Because it's real. I'm not joking you. Even for cameras or not, I'm telling you, bro. I was genuinely in a place of real concern because I've never seen something like even.
It's just
the shadow being we saw in the car, or I saw in the car. It wasn't what I saw yesterday. What day is it?
Yeah, it was like yesterday. Unrefutable. Like it was not like you had to question what you saw.
Yeah, it was a distinct. Someone appeared and then disappeared in front of my eyes.
Well, first of all, I just would like to say, like, I'm kind of jealous that you like
take it.
Like
you can have it. I don't want it anymore.
It just makes me it just makes me mad that like for so long it has been a no. Like it has been a like not about it, don't believe it, none of this stuff, and then like one thing happens and it's just like broken the seal for you, dog. Like it is completely broken your seal.
Yeah.
You are
like
the amount of weird things that you have been experiencing in just a year.
Yeah.
Is like insane. I mean, we didn't even talk about it on the podcast. The fact that when we were up there at Heart Rock, I'm out here hearing your voice in a walkie-talkie.
That's right. Oh my God.
Telling me to turn left, and you're left.
Yes. Okay. Honestly,
like
we'll get to apocalypses if we get to apocalypses. Please tell chat this story because this is also like some crazy stuff.
So as everybody knows, I am way more open and willing and wanting for weird, unexplainable things to happen because it just fascinates me, like the whole concept of like there just being a whole other world that we don't understand. Mm-hmm. You know, there's like a whole other layer, a whole other dimension of just shit to unpack going down like in this universe, bro.
Yeah.
And for us to be like so we went camping a few weeks ago, like maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 weekends.
Yeah, just about.
And we were gonna go up to a whole spot. We were gonna go up to a spot here by our house, about 20-30 minutes away. Terrible time, by the way. Like we had terrible, like we got up there, tried to reserve a spot, gave them money, then tell us so like, mad. Oh, we just gave your spot away, gave me my money back. Like it was just a mess. So we ended up backyard camping.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a good backyard camp.
Yeah, dude, nothing wrong with it. We actually had a pretty good time. I slept very good back there.
I knocked out.
It was good. It was a good time. But after we decided, hey, let's go up to our normal hiking spot. We'll go up to, it's called Heart Rock. It's up here local to us, about 30 minutes away. Mm-hmm. We walk up there. We're guys, we're boys. We don't stay on the trail. So obviously we like to go and do our own thing. And one of our own things is playing hide and seek in the middle of this forest. And, you know, in hindsight, when we talk about weird things happening to us, we do it to ourselves because why would we do stuff like that? And, well, this time it actually happened. This is, I think, our first time being in the woods where something like, I mean, we've had weird things happen, but for something like this, I have never had something like this happen to me where it was like how do you even, so anyways, back into the story, we're doing this, I'm it, so I'm trying to find this guy, can't find him at all. We had walkie-talkies this time, so we were up there for quite a while, probably like 45 minutes, like just trying to find you. Could not find you at all. I had people signaling the same way we signal when we're in the forest. You know, funny. It was just everything was discombobulating, and it was like, you know, I can't find this guy. I give up, right? Just gonna adjust that mic there for a second.
No problem,
So we go, or I'm sorry, I go, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to get up on the trail. I'm just going to start walking because I got no idea where this man is. I radio him on the walkie, like, where you at? He's like, we're at starting location. Just go back. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm walking back. I can't find this guy at all. I'm struggling.
Now,
I don't struggle like this.
on my
normally.
perspective, I was trying to make it fairly difficult for Brent. I wasn't going nuts on my hiding spots, but like near the end, I was really not getting weird with my hiding spots. I really wasn't like that.
And that's
hidden.
And that's what was confusing me, because it was like the later it got, the more confused I was.
Yeah.
Like, because again, this is a place we go to 24/7. Like, this is not a like get lost situation. Like, we know where everything is here. I had no idea where you were. I could not find you at all. Somehow, from starting on the path, I wasn't on the path at one point. I'm like, dude, I'm very confused. And so I'm on the walkie, and if anyone has a walkie-talkie, it's a push to talk. There is no just press the button and it just holds. Like, you push to talk and you let go and then it stops, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, hey, where you at? Bro's having a whole conversation with me.
I was. Yeah.
Whole conversation with me. I don't even remember what was being said. I just remember you were like, hey, I'm just waiting in this spot, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because eventually I was trying to tell you somewhat of where I was at.
Yeah.
But I still didn't want to give it
You're
away.
You're just like, I'm sitting by this area, and I'm like, all right, cool.
But eventually, I stopped hearing you talk to me, if that makes... Like, I don't...
Yeah.
Like, I could hear him trying, but I could not make out a word you were saying. Sorry if I hit the mic. But I couldn't... That's where I was at.
And that's so... Oh, my God. That's so weird, because while he's having that... Now, mind you, again, because we're not with each other, I don't know what's happening on his side.
Yeah.
I'm having a whole conversation with this man on the walkie. I'm having a whole conversation. Like, again, I can't tell you what obviously it was about. Like, dude, I can't find you. Like, I don't know where you are. But it was not, silent. Mm-hmm. It was full conversation. And then I get to a certain point, I hit a fork in the small little... I think I was like in the game trails. I don't think I was on the real trail because they were small.
Yeah.
You know, and I come into a fork. It's a right and left, and I'm like, well, if I go right, I'm definitely gonna go on main trail. I'll get on the dirt path. I'll just walk down, or I'll turn left, and I don't know where left is gonna lead me. It's gonna be the game trail. I'm assuming it's gonna lead me down to this creek, and I'm like, damn, dude. I mean, I guess I'm gonna just go right. Sorry, chat. My watch decided it was going to yell at me.
So unprofessional.
So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just go right. And I start walking. I'm like 2 to 3 steps in. And all I hear come out of the walkie is left.
But it was my voice, correct?
It was Joey's voice. Like, that was like, it was just left. And I was like, okay, I guess bro sees me. Like, there was no, like, that's the part of this that makes it so, like, the creepy part set in, is that it was not a, like, oh, that wasn't Joey. Like, it was just like, oh, bro can see me, I guess. I guess I'll go left instead of right.
Which, I don't know if you've guessed yet, chat. I never said the word left. I never once.
And apparently, me and Joey weren't having a conversation on the walkie-talkie.
I was having that's the thing. Some of the things you were telling me that you heard, I did not explain to you, because I did say things like, "Oh, I'm by the water," or "Oh, I'm sitting on a rock." But like, there were other things where there was a weird part where you kept trying. Like, again, I was hearing more static. I was hearing more like you were trying to talk to me.
And that was weird, because I was hearing no static, because I didn't even hear the push to start. Like, because, if you have a walkie-talkie, you push the button, it makes a, like a sound.
I was hearing like a distinct, and like the little I was getting out was like you saying something about standing up, but then after that, I couldn't get anything from you. I wasn't getting a single word from you, and I never said the word left.
And that's even weirder to think about, considering that we were on literally almost the complete opposite sides, and we were using the walkie-talkies like perfectly normal.
Yeah, I remember
the entire
distinctly
day.
when I did eventually stand up from my hiding spot, because you had turned left based on what you heard me say on the radio. When I stood up and I saw you, you were facing directly at me.
That's what I mean. That's why it was just like, what? So, chat, we probably sound crazy. I'm pretty sure we might be. We might just be crazy, to be honest. But, like, I don't know. I've never had something so weird. Like, I've had weird things happen, but that one's just weird because it was you. Like, like your voice, like that, it was irrefutably like, yeah, that was you talking. It was not interference. It was not like, because we've done it. We've scanned through channels. We know what it sounds like when we pick up someone else on the walkie. We know what it's like when someone, it's just like, oh my, like, wow.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't getting a bit concerned with the, what's the word I'm looking for? The repetitiveness, but like there's a word.
The synchronicities, bro. There's so much stuff
happening at once now. Like it's all happening a lot more. There was the shadow guy in the car. There was
the shadow on the tree.
The shadow on the tree. The now shadow man in the road.
That one just bothers me because, like, how do you explain that away?
The reason
like, how do you even explain that away?
Is like the one thing I want people to like understand about this story, because I can understand, like, you know, people who especially don't believe in this kind of stuff, and that's fair. Like, I totally understand. I was like that for a long time.
Well, I mean, like, and we've talked about it before too. Until you go through something like that, you're never gonna fully agree.
Exactly.
Like, because you just don't know. You don't know what it's like until you have that moment where it's like, I don't even care about proving it.
Yeah.
Like it just happened. Like it just happened.
The thing that in that story, like, it's one thing for you or the audience or chat or anyone to believe whether or not I actually saw this thing in the road. The reason to me that it stood out so distinctly is the fact that it actually caused my, like, you know,
you physically had a reaction. It
like,
was not
it wasn't like I should, like, turn out of the, like, my body had to do that instinct, like, as if there was a
fight or flight.
Fight or flight, genuine moment where I thought I was gonna hit something, and so without having any time to react, I had to do like a really quick, like, kind of thing. And then that's when, like, I noticed, because I swerved, but before I swerved back into the lane, that's when I noticed it just kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It didn't really, like, kind of combust. Is it combust?
Well, just, like, dissipated. It just,
but it wasn't even, like gas or
really?
Dust. It was just
wow,
like,
that's,
I don't know how to describe, but it also wasn't like it was contorting into something.
Did it, like, almost suck itself inside? Like, I don't know,
it's hard
normally
to describe.
normally what I hear is, like, people, like, it just, like, kind of dissipated. It kind of just like fizzled out in the, like,
it was the reason it's kind of hard to describe is because I could tell how fast it disappeared. It wasn't like one of those things where, like, you look away, it's gone. It wasn't one of those things where you see it slowly just sort of fade out of eyesight.
It was just like one moment it was there and when it wasn't.
And then it was just gone. Almost like he spinned behind a back door that wasn't there.
Almost like the cloaking in the Predator movies.
Yeah, kind of like
almost
that.
Like
where
just,
almost
you just press a button and go.
Yes,
like,
like it was.
And so, like, my next question for you would be, and, like, it sucks because then you have to think about it, but, like, would that then confirm in your head that these things are 100% happening as a personal experience to you? Because I think before I think you were trying to tell me that, oh, it's me. That like I am the one that has kind of opened that stuff, you would say, but like, I mean, you're getting hella stuff that like I'm just not involved with. Like, I mean, even with the thing in my own car, I didn't see that. So like, I don't know. We have it on video. I didn't see it. Like I physically looked back when you were looking at it. So like, I mean, to me, like I don't think I am a part of it. You know, like I think like you need to take me out of the equation and start asking what you've done, bro, cuz I don't think it's me, man. I don't think I'm the one.
I'm not as worried about it being tied to me yet. I do think about that more often lately, but what I struggle with lately more is that I'm starting to more so 100% just believe in it in general. That's what's getting a bit more concerning. Seeing it in the road alone, like on my own, without you there, it's getting it's hard for me to like see something like that, genuinely have this like moment of like almost feeling like panic and tears welling up, and my jaw, I swear to you, my jaw dropped.
Dude, I don't even know what I would do in that situation. I would just
I almost pulled over because I didn't know what to do. If you give me a moment.
And this was you coming back.
This was me coming back from the mountain.
That's even worse. That is like actually worse.
If you give me a moment, like, and talk to chat for a bit or ask me some questions, I can find you what road I was on.
Oh my gosh, dude. I just think about like I don't even know. Like what, like I just don't even know how you would respond.
Okay, here's a question I have for you.
Would you respond the same if you had someone with you and saw it?
Would I respond the same if I saw it, but like my friend who was there in this situation didn't?
Well, that was going to be my next question. It was going to be,
Or they
would you
saw it
react
too.
the same if you had someone with you and that happened? And then the next thing would be, would you be more freaked out if only you saw it? Or if both of you saw it?
I would be more afraid if...
Because if only you saw it, then you might just be going crazy.
That's the thing. I don't want to like sit here and be like, oh, I'm in trouble. Like I'm seeing things. Like I don't want that to be the case, you know? But I don't, what would I be more afraid of? I think I'd be more afraid if I was the only one to see it. Because like I said, what's really been struggling with me right now is the fact that I'm starting to believe it all, like more so. Not just like, oh, this could very well be a thing. It's more like, this is a thing and I got to figure out what to do about it, you know?
So how does that affect what you believe in previously from all these experiences?
That's a good question that I don't know if I can answer yet. Hold on, I have the road for you.
Oh, you got the road? All right.
I'm gonna have to block it out for, security reasons. But it was on. Now this is on the way to. You know where you, me, Isaac, and my dad camped?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, well, yeah. It's
going up that way. It's going up
way.
The way through.
Do you know that distinct road where there's like a serious sharp, like 90-degree turn?
Yes. 100. Yeah.
That road is called.
Man, chat. If you guys, if only you guys knew where we were talking about. The road Joey's talking about is literally like it. It looks creepy. Like it is literally stereotypical. Like
I'm gonna block
creepy.
it out. Or I'm gonna bleep this so chat won't know stuff about our locations. But the street is called Street.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it's dark. It doesn't have any lights, and there's these bits where it goes like up and down.
Yeah, I think I know what road you're talking about because
it's like almost
know
to that point where we turn to see that jerky spot. It's almost there.
Yeah, okay.
It's around that region.
Yeah, then I know exactly what. Oh my gosh, down that road?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nah, that's scary, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like no lights. There's like no lights whatsoever. There's no. I mean, that's even significantly scarier because how do you go on a road that has no lighting and then something show up and not be distinctual, like not being able to make out any.
That's why it was so crazy because
Because
like
if
I
it's
said,
your headlights,
there's
if it's your
no
headlights,
lights
it would be flashing
except for my
straight-
headlights.
Yeah.
So whatever I saw was close enough for my headlights to make it out,
But
which is
not
why,
enough to make out any features besides
Yes.
just dark.
Exactly.
That's why.
Enough for me to think I'm gonna hit this thing, this person. But then, because it's in the middle of the road, I'm thinking, oh, there's this guy or something in the middle of the road. So I swerve to not hit this dude. And then, before I can, like, swerve out, I notice the guy just... and then gone. Like, he's gone.
Oh, no, bro.
God, dude, I don't know. I don't know.
So you want to answer my question, bro? Or?
I don't know how this affects what I believe. I think that I definitely I'm here's the thing. We've talked about our beliefs a lot. I definitely still believe in the Bible. I still believe in God. But the thing is, what some people think is like hypocrisy to say that you can also believe in like demons and stuff like that. I mean, the Bible talks about demons. The Bible talks about stuff like that. And so I'm getting worried that maybe I just found one and he's messing with me. And it really is, the more that I'm seeing, and let me be very clear, the fact that the majority of my sightings are shadow in nature is also starting to really scare me. Because, like, it'd be one thing if it was like, oh, I heard like a voice in the abandoned hospital. It would be one thing if like, oh, I felt the cold chill at that cemetery. It's now it's this thing, this physical thing that I can see with my eyes at multiple times in different locations, very different locations. The two were at your house in the same driveway, so that's something. But this is
nowhere really near our house, like.
And so that's why I'm like freaking out, because like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, what do I do now?
I mean,
I'm gonna have to start covering my house with like salt and.
hey, but you better be careful, bro, because you know how it is with church people. They might think you're a little crazy.
That's the thing. It's like
That's the thing. You can believe in all that stuff, but then you try and do things to combat it, and then you're like a weirdo. Like,
yeah, I
so,
don't want to like
now,
sit here and be like, oh, I'm being, what's the word? Not possessed, but haunted. I don't want to like sit here and say I'm haunted. But like some weird shit has been happening, and I don't understand it.
So I have a question for you. Then, do you think all of the stuff that's been do they feel malevolent? Do you think the things that have been
mean again?
like evil, for a better just something that doesn't have a good intent on being there? Like, does it feel like that, or do you just like, I mean, because obviously you're scared because it's something you don't understand. Like, you feel that scared moment, but like, is it, oh, I gotta get out of here? Like, I don't feel like, like, does it feel like it's something that's there that it's like, hey, I'm a warning for something bad, like, or does it feel like it's just something making itself known?
Oh, that's really hard.
Well, and like, that's the reason why I ask you, like with your beliefs, like, how does that change that? Because really, I mean, in the Christian faith, the only other paranormal, for lack of a better word, things you have in the Bible is, so you have angels and demons, and that's it. There is no in between. There is no other things going on. There's no other, it's either good or bad, and that's it. There is no if, and, or buts about it. So like, do you think it's demon, or do you think it's something, quite possibly something else, you know? Like,
It's hard. I think starting with, is it evil in nature? I I don't have a clear answer because there's two distinct feelings with that response. One, all it has done so far is make itself known. There has been no foul play. If we're talking like this is some kind of entity that is interacting with my life 100%, there's been no foul play. There's been nothing to concern me or my family or anything like that. But it's made itself known. So literally, yes, I don't think it's necessarily something evil. Skeptically, every time I see it, my heart drops. And yeah, we could call that like the feeling of the unknown, but at the same time, it almost feels like when you're on a roller coaster and you go down that first drop, but you've never been on a roller coaster in your life, and that feeling of and like that feeling where everything just goes away. And that's what I felt every time I've seen this thing, or every time that I've accepted the thing. This time I accepted it the moment I saw it because I couldn't explain anything of what I had seen in the road. The first time we saw the shadow guy in your car, I was very skeptical because nothing like that had ever happened. So it took me a moment to have that sinking feeling. I had that sinking feeling when I had come to terms with it may have actually been something when we were in your garage and we talked about it. Like when we had, you know what it may have been? It may have been that time where we read your book explaining shadow people.
Yes, we
and
read.
They said that one of the distinct features that is a common occurrence is their distinct red eyes, which I had seen in the first encounter I had.
And shout out to that book Joey's talking about is called Monsters Among Us. It's by the late Linda Godfrey. So check that out if you're into any weird things. Like it's way more than just little shadow people stuff. You got werewolf stuff in there. You got like insane amount of like stuff and like firsthand account. Like I mean, she traveled to like these places and talked to these people like in the book. Like very well read or very researched. It's pretty crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but so do you think you'd be more open now, like, to exploring all this stuff?
What do you mean by explore?
As far as, like, well, because now I mean, it's safe to say you believe it. You believe that there's something going on.
I believe that there is something.
Like, whether or not it's anything we can figure out, we may never figure it out. But, like, there's something that is happening that does not make sense. And, like, that's something that you're...
I can confidently say that I believe that there is something I cannot explain that is visibly happening to me, like around me.
So and then I guess like by that question, it's like, would you be more willing to, I guess, ask the questions or like ask other people questions or like maybe setting out to find answers on your own, or do you think it's still at a level now where it's like, well, but if it happens, it happens? Or do you think you're more...
I would say that, like, if it happens, it happens. But right now where I am with this whole coming to terms with it all, I'm sort of in a weird mental game where I don't want to know the answers, if that makes sense. Like it's sort of a lot like some of my struggles with Christianity in a way. And we talked about this a little bit on the Chillcast episode, whatever. Go check that out. It was the beginning to an end, or end to a beginning, whatever.
Yeah, beginning of an end.
Beginning of an end. Go check that episode out. But I have a lot of struggles with certain parts of the faith where like there are just a lot of questions and not a lot of answers, and that's a struggle that a lot of people have in Christianity. And I think right now to finish that thought, I've gotten to a point in my faith where right now I'm just not seeking the answers anymore.
Yeah.
Because I just don't. It's harsh to say I don't care anymore, but it's more like I feel content.
Well, it's like I feel like we've been trying our whole lives to find those answers, and I think now it's like being. I mean, and I'm speaking for both of us. It could be different, but at least for me, it's like 24. I think I'm better off seeking other answers to other things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not like
exactly.
not like saying giving
like
up any faith or anything. There's just more things to try and figure out or like ponder on. I mean, just like stuff like this. I mean, this stuff is like present and it's happening.
But that's
like at
the
least
thing,
you
though.
can
That's
observe
where,
that.
For me,
you know,
this is coming sort of into a point where I don't really want to pursue this either, because I don't know if I want to know the answers. I don't know if I want to get more clarification, because what if I don't like the clarification?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, and
that makes sense.
That goes into, I mean, we've talked about our disclosure stuff, aliens, the Fermi paradox. I mean, we've mentioned aliens quite a bit. It's almost like that. It's really like, man, you got all these people, you got all of these abduction stories, you got all these contactee stories, you got all these stories from Navy men, military men, like government, Pentagon, all this stuff. And it's like, well, there's something there, but do I really want to know what the answer is to that? Like, do I really want to know? Because, like, what if the answer is not what we thought? Like, what if it's not we got little green men from outer space? Like, what if it's some crazy, like, this is us from the future, we're coming back, you know, like, I've heard so many crazy theories and conspiracy things where it's like, well, if that's real, that's a whole other that's a whole other conversation.
Trying to figure out whatever this shadow business is, and it's something that I did not even
remotely thought was going to be the answer.
Like, what if it's nothing to do with demons or hell or heaven or God? Like, what if it's
if it's physical? What if it's some people out here learning how to break through a different wall? Like, I don't know, dude.
I don't want to know. I have to go to work on Monday,
and I gotta do a good job.
I cannot be stressing about this kind of stuff. And I know that for a lot of people who do believe in this kind of thing, that can seem very I'm
people. I am people.
What's the word I'm looking for? It can seem very, like, not cowardly, but like in a way, like cowardly in the sense of not being willing to try, I guess. But
not being willing to look at the
I'm not trying to say, and you can believe me, chat, or not, that it's not that I'm not pursuing this because I'm afraid of this. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. I'm so intrigued. I am afraid in a sense because I don't know what it is. But it's not like every time I see it, I get reminded of my fear, and then I want to cower and hide from whatever it is. It's not that. It's that I just don't want to know. Like, I kind of want everything to just go back to the way it was. And I just want to buy a new camera for the podcast. I got to pay my loans. I just want to go back to normal.
I mean, and it's so funny you say that too, because like the amount of times I have this conversation, not just with you. I mean, like even yesterday I was with the homies. I haven't seen one of my homies in quite a while. We got to catch up. It was a great time. But like I was telling you before the podcast, he doesn't believe in any of it. It's I mean, he is everything can be explained by science. There is a scientific explanation to everything that happens in this universe, and he just has no fear of like any of that, because it's just not to him, he just has all the answers. Like, it's just all kind of figured out. I mean, you know, and it's like, at the same time, I respect that. First of all, like, again, like we've said before, I respect anyone's opinions and beliefs. Like, if that's what you believe in, and you got your own solid evidence and proof for like whatever you're fine, like, cool. Like, I'm not gonna stop you, because I don't know. That's the one thing. I don't have the answers to anything. I don't know what any of this is. I don't know, like, what you're seeing. I don't know what it is. I mean, we have guesses. I mean, we have guesses. We have the Shadow Man stuff. I mean, read stuff on that too. It's like, I mean, yeah, that checks all the boxes, but what is the shadow man? You know, just because that's our definition of what that is doesn't mean that's what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I think that's the thing, at least for me, that I feel like people should ask more questions about, you know, as far as like if you've experienced something like this. If you've never experienced anything weird or abnormal, then you're just living normal life. You don't, you know, you're not thinking about any of that.
Yeah.
But it's like until something unexplainable happens to you, then you got to make your choice, like you said. You either want it to just kind of go back to normal the way it was, not think about it, or it almost kind of ruins your life, you know, because
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's almost in a way kind of ruined my life a little bit, because like that's all I think about. That's all, like, I mean, the amount of stuff I hear story-wise, the amount of synchronicities of things that just happen, where it's like,
Yeah.
how much of a coincidence is too much of a coincidence, you know?
That's the,
like
that's
how,
the big question.
and it's like, to just always, I guess, make an excuse as to why things happen. It's like, sometimes there just isn't an excuse. Sometimes things just happen that do not make sense, like what you saw. I don't think even a lack of sleep, I don't think,
Yeah, that's the
with
thing.
something like that, I don't think you would have the reaction that you did if it was
That's
something
the
of that
problem, is,
nature.
Like, I really
you know?
don't want people, because, yes, to be clear for the skeptics, I didn't have a great sleep schedule this week.
Yeah.
I'll throw that in the air.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
yeah,
I'm not going to
Hey,
try
bro,
and sit here.
to be a healthy skeptic, you gotta lay
accept
everything out on the
every
table.
fact, yeah.
Everything on the table. Yeah.
And so, no, I didn't get the best sleep. But again, the reason this is worrisome for me is because this is the third time that this has happened with a completely sober mind, and the third time that it's happened. Like, that's the other thing. Like, it's to me, one of the factors you also have to throw in, along with the fact that maybe I didn't get enough sleep, is the fact that this isn't the first time.
And
This
it's not
isn't-
the first time with a shadow entity, which
Exactly.
is even crazier.
Exactly.
Like, that's like,
And so, yes, I'll accept that maybe I could have just been sleep deprived, but you got to take me at my word. I didn't feel tired when I was driving. I really didn't. I was
Yeah.
wide awake listening to Two Bears.
Heck
Shout out
yeah.
to Bert and Tom.
Bert and Tom,
Please watch our podcast.
please let us just come on yours.
We would love that. That would be great. But all that said, yes, there are things that, as a former skeptic, I can accept where there are some potholes. Is it potholes in my story? But to the like, it's like you said, it really isn't something that you can sort of describe to someone else in full sincerity unless that person themselves
Understands,
experiences
yes,
something.
because,
and it
like-
doesn't have to be the same story either. Like,
No.
for you've had multiple experiences over your life. Recently, one of them being the radio thing. The radio thing is something that doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't add up.
And like,
And-
that's just one where
Yeah.
it's like, I've never have had something like that. Like, that's some stuff I can't even make up. Like,
Yeah,
that's some
yeah.
like, what in my head, how do you, like, I mean, I can make it up. I mean, like,
Sure.
anything's possible, but like, I heard you
Yeah.
talk, and like, I don't know. I don't get it, bro. Like, there are just some things that just do not make sense, and there's a little bit of trickster element to it, bro. Like, I'm not, like, there's a little bit of like, watch this. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's so weird. And when you bring it back into like, okay, well, what are examples of that? I mean, we have examples of that. We used to talk about that stuff to describe God.
What do you mean?
Like, oh, God has a real funny sense of humor, huh? Like, you know, like, things happening where it's like, haha, that's a weird coincidence. Like, you know, We would use that same exact analogy to describe things that were happening to us even when we were younger, you know? So it's like, let's take a look at everything else that has to do with that. Look at how many trickster gods and like trickster things there are in almost every religion, bro. I mean, Loki's literally known as the trickster god. He's literally the one playing pranks on people, like for pure enjoyment, for like pure enjoyment, bro. Like
if maybe this is something that's more not comical, but like
something to get a rise, almost like to get a rise out of you. Like, hey, let me pick on the guy out of the two that doesn't believe in any of this.
Yeah.
But then show the other guy nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of, if that doesn't sound like a sick prank, like, I don't know what is. At least with the thing in the truck. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, let's take the one guy who like talks about this and like reads about it consistently, but then have his other friend see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that doesn't sound like a prank,
it
like,
does, yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying like,
prank...
oh, there's all these other gods and stuff that be doing stuff. Like, I'm not saying that, but I think we have a lot of definitions for things that we just categorize in a certain thing. Is one of the things
it could be of many things. Like,
yeah,
I'm not trying to come on this podcast and say I'm being possessed or haunted by a demon.
No, it's just weird things are happening.
I've seen some weird stuff happen lately, and I can't explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's fair. I feel like that's a fair thing to say and a fair assessment to have on something. Like, I think once you start categorizing things in a box, that's when things start to get messy because, like, we don't know. We don't know what any
just like
of
how
it is.
We shouldn't be telling you what days we're uploading our
episodes.
episodes.
Exactly. That's why it's always on weekends.
We're trapping ourselves in a box, and we're
not meant to be in a box.
Yeah.
We're meant to be free, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we were gonna have an episode about the apocalypse, but we're an hour in now, and
this was a great episode. Honestly,
this is really, dude.
I hope you guys really enjoyed the apocalypse talk because we're not gonna talk about it again.
It's it.
No, I didn't mean to take over this whole episode. I really wasn't planning on it.
I'm glad you did because I was not ready for something like that.
Topic?
Like, I'm telling you, out of anything you could have said, that was not what I thought you were gonna say. Like,
I hope it came out like truthful. I hope you understand. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, I wouldn't joke with you about this kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I don't think you would joke about anything having to do with this stuff, especially now after all the stuff that's been going on. Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Well,
I hope you guys also at least somewhat got a kick out of my trauma this week. I'm half deaf in one ear, and I'm being chased by a spooky ghost by the Scooby Gang.
By the Scooby Gang, bro. Hey, dude, if it wasn't for those meddling kids, man.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So, well, I'll give you guys. I'll keep you guys, posted on what if there's any new or strange occurrences. But
you should make that like an Instagram series. You should do like
every time I see it.
Yeah, like do the stories and then like put it on the highlights on Instagram.
Okay, all right, yeah, I can do that. Well, thank you guys so much for joining our podcast. We hope you enjoyed this kind of out of pocket episode.
Spooky.
Not our first one. Like this.
Not
this is
at
just
all.
what happens. This is what happens when me and Brent
it won't
get
be our
together.
last.
Yeah. So.
Well, all right, guys.
Make sure subscribe, rate us on Spotify, please.
Yes, and listen to us wherever you guys get your podcasts. So.
Yeah.
We're your hosts, Brent Murphy
and Joey Rucker,
and we'll see you guys next week. Yeah.
Ha!
The Woodsmen podcast is actively reading and responding to anything and everything on Instagram and our email. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the show, you can email us at thewoodsmanpod@gmail.com. Make sure to keep up with all things Woodsman related on Instagram at woodsmanpod. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the Woodsman podcast with video exclusively on YouTube and Patreon. Make sure to follow our personal accounts at Strange Kids and Pie Master J on all platforms.
The Woodsman podcast is co-produced by Brent Murphy and Joey Rucker.
Engineered by Brent Murphy and edited by Joey Rucker.
Additional editing by Brent Murphy, and blood, sweat, and tears by the both of us.
Any additional content by the Woodsmen podcast may not be used without our permission. Copyright the Woodsmen podcast.
And remember,
Things don't always go as planned.